Bienvenidos, worldwide fans of the planet's hottest entertainment with an edge. Jaime En Fuego here, and back for Enfuegotainment and the 12 Days of Crimbus. That's right, happy Festivus, the Hana, Kwanzaa, the Christmas, whatever you celebrate during this December season. So very stoked to be continuing this coverage, and this is like a very quick little double down, because I had never seen either of these films. They are basically both Christmas crime comedies, and even unbeknownst to me, they both came out in 1994, and so one was actually, very well received and got some rather positive reviews, although it came out in like March, I think, of 94, and then the other one was supposed to be like, as opposed to, the aforementioned, which was kind of a surprise hit. The second film was, it was released around Christmas, in the month of December, obviously, and everybody thought it was going to be this big thing and had, like, very noteworthy names from, like, Saturday Night Live and, one other big guy who was just about to, I think he had already gotten an Oscar nomination or was just about to, but, yeah, we are basically talking The Ref and Trapped in Paradise, yeah. I'd never seen either of these movies before, but I was trying to finally check out a couple Christmas films that were a little, like, just off-center, and, I watched a lot of Christmas horror already. I watched stuff like Rare Exports and, Deadly Games. I know that French film has gone by various names. That's going to be my second, double down of weird foreign, just Christmas films that I haven't watched before. But I was like, I want something funny, and it came down to The Ref and Trapped in Paradise. I almost watched Mixed Nuts. I almost watched, like, Trading Places, I think, was another possibility. But, yeah, inadvertently, both of these came out in 94, and so just to give some brief thoughts on The Ref real quick, this is one with Denis Leary and with Kevin Spacey, and I have a lot of friends that love this movie. They think it's the shiznittle bam. It's definitely a dark comedy, much more so in contrast with Trapped in Paradise. It's very R-rated. You have Denis Leary as this, he's like this thief, fugitive-y kind of guy, and he basically takes this super rich and really shitty family hostage. Kevin Spacey and his wife are, like, kind of on the verge of divorce, but not quite there. Like, he won't allow his wife who cheated on him to divorce him. Their kid is, like, kind of a little schmuckty himself and, using drugs and whatnot. Well, drugs, as they probably thought of them back in the day. And so basically, Denis Leary's character, he's holding them hostage, but the rest of the family is coming over, so it has that kind of tropey charade of, oh, he's just visiting such and such or whatever, and unbeknownst to all of the rest of the visiting family, who are in some ways even worse than Spacey and his immediate family, it's just weird how Denis Leary, he in turn endears himself to these just kind of crappy people, and in turn, without getting super spoilery, yes, there is like kind of a manhunt of sorts that's going down, and yet he is able to kind of help this family through their problems and get closer together with just the sheer essence of his presence. It's a weird movie. I can understand maybe why those who have just like that cynical view of the holidays and family and things like that, they may find a much better, like, sort of relatability. If your family sucks, you will probably love this movie, but since I actually have a wonderful family and I am immensely blessed, and I know that's very sugar, Cody, sweet, whatever, I think because of the fact that I haven't really had a lot of these sort of experiences, and Christmas being the fact that it was always, especially when I was younger, it was like a double down holiday. It was my father's parents, it was their wedding anniversary every Christmas, because they got married on the 25th of December. And so, yeah, I guess the relatability aspect, while I found this movie funny at times, it just didn't have that sort of endearing aspect that I think those that could relate to it a little bit more would probably find in The Ref. But I know that, hey, I will definitely say a pre-American Beauty Kevin Spacey, this was like a warm-up round for him, man. Yeah, he hadn't even done Usual Suspects yet, so he was still kind of getting his name out there. He wasn't like a household, name at that particular point. No Oscar nominations yet or anything like that. Unfortunately, we all know what's happened with Spacey over the years, and many nasty things that have come to light. It's tough to separate the personal life and the accusations from the man and his talents, but I still will always say I think Kevin Spacey's a hell of an actor, and I do, especially, you know, now reflecting where he's played like nicer characters, you know, later in his career, especially after he was really established and stuff. But I prefer him playing these kind of asshole schmuck sort of people in this. And Dennis Leary is great. He bounces off the family well, but I don't know. This one is 3 out of 5. It's a bueno film, but it did not become like instant dark comedy status, and I love stuff like that, you know. I mean, whether Bad Santa, the Ice, but the Ice Harvest, I think, is the one with also with Billy Bob and with John Cusack, and obviously, you know, Die Hard, Batman Returns. There's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. There's lots of great examples of these sort of weird dark comedies, but no, this is not one that I would necessarily see myself revisiting at least anytime soon, although if it was on and I was at, you know, like a party hanging with friends or whatever, I would at least, you know, pay a little bit of attention and maybe look out for some stuff that I potentially missed as far as humor goes. Now we get to our second film, and Trapped in Paradise stars Nicolas Cage, and he's got some cagey moments in this, and this is the one that came out in December of '94 and was positioned to be this big tentpole sort of situation. And I mean, we were like 4 years removed from Home Alone at this particular point, but Home Alone definitely proved that you could have like kind of snide, snarky Christmas comedy that could do some big time box office, although you did have the just cute charm of, you know, the little Culkin kid, Mr. Macaulay or whatever. And so a little bit different in this regard, obviously, but besides Nicolas Cage, he has 2 brothers in this film who are just being released from prison, but they're all like kind of con artist, thief, you know, just kind of, you know, dirty people of sorts in New York. But his brothers are none other than Jon Lovitz and Drew Carey. And it's Drew Carey, what am I saying? Oh goodness, where is, yeah, maybe it is, no, it's definitely not Drew Carey. What the... Dana Carvey, good Lord, Fuego. Man, yeah, so Dana Carvey, none other than Garth himself, and Jon Lovitz. I think Lovitz was still on Saturday Night Live at this point, or he was freshly removed. Dana Carvey might have still been on there, but this was a post-Wayne's World Dana Carvey. And I don't know why I was thinking Drew Carey, good Lord, dude. But you guys can laugh about that. In any event, everybody thought this was going to be a big thing, and besides that trio, you've got tons of other. I think Richard Jenkins is in this. He's in an albeit smaller role. You've also got that super babe from Twin Peaks, and she was in Sleepwalkers. Her name eludes me, but yeah, still young, and as Lady Catherine mentioned when we were watching this, looking kind of Winona Ryder-y, but I feel like she's much more attractive, much prettier than her. But a similar like look, kind of, and aesthetic and whatever. In any event, this is one that everybody thought was going to be just kind of a sleeper hit of sorts, and it was anything but. Bombed at the box office, absolutely just killed by critics, man. They brutalized this film, and it was on a lot of worst of the year lists, and I think it ended up on a lot of worst of the year lists probably because of the fact that it came out at the end of the year and it was so fresh in these critics' minds. So even if there was worse stuff that came out earlier in the year, that's the tough thing, is when it's still just it's still new, and you know, you have just seen it, it's much more inclined in my estimation to be tossed into that category. So anyway, these 3 brothers, you know, Lovitz and Carvey, it's that same DC, you know, just initials that threw me off. But in any event, Lovitz and Carvey are getting out of prison, and Nicolas Cage picks them up, and they are trying to go from New York to Pennsylvania to investigate this daughter who is estranged from her father, who spent who was in prison with Lovitz and Dana Carvey's character. And lo and behold, it turns out, no, there's actually a bank robbery that is at the heart of this, and, you know, basically going against their parole, going across state lines that you're not supposed to do. And in turn, post-robbery, the wackiness ensues because this small town in Pennsylvania, like, these guys can't escape because everybody is so nice to them. And this is not a good movie, by any means. The Ref is a better written and acted movie, but dare I say, sometimes stupid humor of the highest accord can amuse you more. And while this is so by the numbers and very similar to The Ref in the fact that it's about, you know, these kind of scum of the earth, you know, to quote Rob Zombie, like criminal sort of peeps, and that whole like Grinch, you know, redemptive circle arc. I mean, it's so funny how so many have borrowed this sort of like, there's always the redemption arc, whether it's the Grinch or whether it's, you know, It's a Wonderful Life, or it's obviously A Christmas Carol, Scrooge, all of its various adaptations. It's a common theme around Christmas, how the holidays just have this power, whether it's just the season itself or the kindness of people that you encounter, to make your heart grow like 5 times or whatever the heck happened in Dr. Seuss's story. And so for that reason, yeah, you can see a mile away what is happening, especially post-robbery, and without getting too much into it, the guilt as these people are still continually nice to them and all of that stuff. But I laughed a lot at this stupid movie. I really did. I understand the hate that it gets from a lot of people. Touché. I understand. But art is subjective, or the lack thereof in this particular case. And, well, you know, Cage is cagey, and, you know, he's really trying to hook up with that said girl from Twin Peaks and stuff. I don't know, man. Lovitz is as slimy as you would expect, as he was in pretty much all of these roles, whether, I mean, early to mid-90s High School High, the cameo in The Wedding Singer, whatever it may be, he plays that sort of character to a T. And Dana Carvey, man, he's like doing this kind of voice like throughout the entire movie, you know, and it's just really ridiculous. But it just shows that Canadian had such just range to the sort of characters that he could play, and all of just... This movie is legitimately utter lunacy, especially once we finally get, without spoiling it, to the finale and everything that it entails, where there's multiple people on their tails, whether it's both law enforcement and people from prison. Their mother gets involved in it and goes across state lines too, plus all of the locals. It's a weird movie. I can understand why my parents had no inclination to watch it, or The Ref. I mean, The Ref being R-rated and a little bit like just more mean-spirited in that regard. That definitely would not have been something that my Reformed Baptist Christian parents would have wanted to check out. But yeah, man, I gotta say I enjoyed both of these movies, but for completely different reasons. And I will go out on a limb and say that this, at least Trapped in Paradise, for me, personally, personal opinion, this is actually 3 out of 5. This is a bueno movie if you're in the right mood and you're looking for something that will depreciate your brain cells. But yet, I don't know, man, I liked it. It wasn't absolute trash like so many other people have made it out to be, but hey, once again, to each their own. If you think this movie is one of the biggest lumps of coal as far as Christmas films that you have ever seen, you are obviously entitled to that opinion. But yeah, I can't say, like, The Ref wasn't as awesome as a lot of people made it out to be, and honestly, Trapped in Paradise for me was not as craptastic as a lot of people made it out to be as well. So yeah, then met it somewhere in the middle at the end of the day. So I've been Jaime En Fuego. Y'all can find me on all social media sectors: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, here on YouTube, and a like and a share and a subscribe here during the ongoing 12 Days of Crimbus as we approach December 25th is greatly appreciated. I have also done reviews of the recently released, this is the first like Flashback Friday, like throwback sort of situation that I've done in the midst of this, and that's why I doubled down and talked about 2 different movies here. But as far as newly released stuff that I did before today, we had Alien Xmas, which is on Netflix. We also had Fat Man, the Mel Gibson and a Walton Goggins movie, which was entertaining, not what I expected. Happiest Season on Hulu I also did. What else? And also, yeah, the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, which is on Disney+. So there is more coverage that is coming in the coming days, and yeah, I greatly appreciate anybody who's checking it out. If you like Spooktacular Shizzle, we have been doing Christmas Time in Hell over on my main YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Horror Show channel. It's been all Hellraiser all month. I know that's not exactly very Christmassy, but hey, it's what we decided to do over there. We do at least 1 video every single day, and we've been doing all the Hellraiser films, comics, novels, you name it, comprehensive coverage, as we have just strived to do since the channel launched in early 2014. We're about to start our 7th season. It's pretty bonkers, so stay tuned for that. A little like, share, subscribe, and attention over there is appreciated as well. But that's it for the Crimbus coverage, the Festivus peeps, at least for today. So yeah, until the Reel of Ka comes around once more, hasta luego, Cinemigos, constant viewers and readers, not lately, alike, say thank you for your time, although I am about to finish Star Wars Last Shot. But yeah, I hope we share more of this palaver sooner rather than later, and until then, stay home and watch more Christmassy stuff. And yes, look forward to more coverage coming from yours truly.